Is 49ers All-Pro tight end George Kittle next in line to receive a contract extension? We're talking about that on today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Should the Niners do it? How could San Francisco save money with the George Kittle contract extension on the salary cap, the pros and the cons of a new deal, all of that coming your way. But I do want to start off with this poll question here on today's show. Who is the better tight end right now? Coming off the 2023 season, going into 2024. Travis Kelce is the older player who's been in the league more years, but George Kittle, I think, is better right now. So who's the better tight end? Type 85 for Kittle or 87 for Travis Kelce. And let's take a look at the numbers, right, and the career resumes for both of these players. Kittle's been in the NFL for 7 years. Travis Kelce, 11 years. So that's a 4-year difference between Kittle and Kelce, who this week in Nashville, by the way, were hanging out at tight end U. As far as All-Pro honors, Kittle has 4 total, 2 first-team All-Pro selections, 2 second-team All-Pro selections. Travis Kelce, 7 total, 4 first-team, 3 second-team. Kittle's been to 5 Pro Bowls in 7 years. Kelce has been to 9 Pro Bowls in 11 years. Touchdowns, Kittle has 37. Travis Kelce has 74. Receiving yards, pretty much doubled up like the touchdowns are, as Travis Kelce has 11,328 to Kittle's 6,274. And then Kelce has the edge in overall receptions, 907 to 460. I will say where Kittle has Kelce beat is being a better all-around tight end because of his ability and his talent as a blocker on top of being a pass catcher. Today's 49ers Report, by the way, is sponsored by Chubbies. If you're looking to up your wardrobe game this summer, do it with Chubbies. And in the process, if you use that link down below, chubbyshorts.com/chat, and you use the code CHAT, you get 20% off your purchase. Sky's out, thighs out. Summer is officially here. Our friends at Chubbies are bringing the good vibrations. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. They say fashion is an expression of one's character. So why not let the world know you're down for a good time? Chubbies offers a variety of high-quality men's apparel, from super stretchy shorts and swim trunks in 3 short inseam lengths to pants, polos, button-down shirts for when you need to hit up your favorite weekend brunch spot, you're trying to get some drinks, you're hanging out by the lake or the pool. Embrace the spirit of endless summer with Chubbies, the ultimate destination for bold, vibrant, and outrageously comfortable clothing. So you see the link at the bottom of your screen, chubbyshorts.com/chat. Use that link, then use the promo code CHAT for 20% off of your order with that exclusive code. We're going to put all of that information down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment. Chubbies, making today's 49ers Report possible. So you think about the contract extension candidates after Christian McCaffrey landed his contract extension, in which he signed that 2-year deal worth nearly $40 million, which ties him to the Niners through 2027. And notable names come to mind when you think about those extension candidates. And we've talked about these players on the show. Brandon Aiyuk, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Talanoa Hufanga, Brock Purdy. You can throw Aaron Banks into the mix. You can also bring George Kittle up in the conversation as well. The skinny, let's get to the further details of this. He's 31 years old, right? And he reworked his deal this offseason to clear up cap space for San Francisco. That lowered his cap hit for the 2024 campaign to $12.2 million. A significant portion of his base salary was converted into a signing bonus. But 3 straight years of contract reworks for Kittle leads to cap hits being higher in those later years. So right now, Kittle has 2 more years left on his deal, 2024 and in 2025. And then there is a void charge in 2026. If the Niners moved on from Kittle next offseason, they would have to eat a $20.7 million cap charge. Kittle's remaining deal, according to Spotrac, this is the base salary here, or the cap hit, 2024, $12.2 million. 2025, $21.7 million. And then in 2026, with that void charge, $13.3 million. George Kittle right now is the best tight end in the National Football League. Last year, he was a first-team All-Pro. You want to say that Travis Kelce is better than him? He's been in the league 4 more years, as we talked about earlier on the show, so he's naturally put up bigger numbers. He's had more production, but right now, as we talk about this, George Kittle is the better tight end. He was the first-team All-Pro. He put together a really good regular season. Travis Kelce struggled. Then he came alive in the playoffs. And Kittle has that edge to his game where he can block. And Travis Kelce doesn't really do that. And there's something to be said also on top of the production about Kittle's cultural impact on this organization. He's a really positive dude. And when I was around the Niners team in Las Vegas in the lead up to the Super Bowl, you could tell that Kittle has say. And because of that, he has sway. And his positivity really just rubs off on the rest of his teammates. He walks in the room, people are a little bit looser, they're a little bit happier. Oftentimes, he's going to make people laugh. And it's important to have those types of players in a locker room for a sport that is very, very cutthroat, serious, and you have a finite window in which you can compete, you can play. And Kittle, look, he's made sacrifices for this team. He's restructured his deal on numerous occasions. He has played through a lot of injuries throughout his career. And the bottom line here, he is an all-time Niner who's been a highly productive player throughout his entire tenure with San Francisco since being a fifth-round pick out of Iowa. Of course, when you talk about a contract extension, age, injuries, a concern. The risk here is paying for past performance. But there are players who should not wear other uniforms, and it doesn't look right when they're in different colors. George Kittle is one of those. You'd love to see him retire as a San Francisco 49er and always be a San Francisco 49er. But Joe Montana wore another uniform after everything that he did with San Francisco and winning 4 Super Bowls. He was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it has happened, and you can't be surprised because at the end of the day, it is a business. But lastly, I will say this. In order, George Kittle might not be as expensive as the current Kittle right now on the contract that he's playing on. So if you give George Kittle a contract extension soon, and you factor in some of those later years, you might be able to get a little bit of a hometown discount. Now, there's still more to come on today's show on the Kittle front. How much weight did he lose due to the core muscle surgery that he got? We're also going to talk about that. But first, let's take a look at some Chat Sports analytics here. This is a list of the NFL channels in the month of June who have picked up the most subscribers. Now, the 49ers Report is the third largest channel here at Chat Sports, 133,000 subscribers. So sometimes we have months in which we don't pick up as many subscribers as other channels. Like this month, we picked up 304 new subs. That's 9th in the company. Not bad. We're still top 10, right? But I want to climb up these rankings. And the good news is we're not far behind a lot of these other channels here. And the leading channel, Vikings, now has picked up 520 subscribers this month. We've had a huge week, so let's continue to add on that momentum. Hit that sub button right now for daily coverage of the Niners, and let's climb up this list, and let's take down Vikings now by picking up some more subs. Back to the George Kittle conversation here. The framework of the deal, if the Niners were to sign him to a contract extension, could be very similar to Christian McCaffrey's. It's an extension that gives the team flexibility. And the key to being able to do that, utilizing guaranteed money. Christian McCaffrey had no guaranteed money left on his deal. The Niners said, you know what? You were top 5 in MVP voting last year. You led the league in touches. You led the league in rushing yards. You've been our offensive MVP. You were the offensive player of the year. No guaranteed money left on your deal. We'll give you guaranteed money. And what that does is free up cap space for San Francisco. So throughout the duration of the Christian McCaffrey contract over the next 4 years, the Niners are able to save $8+ million every single year, and the guaranteed money helps make that possible. So with George Kittle, you give him some guaranteed money up front, And then those latter years aren't as hefty as they might appear to be when sometimes you look at the average annual value of a contract. And Kittle is a player who's still very, very productive. And what I think is very interesting is you look at the numbers he's been able to put up. The last 2 years, he has been dominant. He has been exceptional. And he really started to come alive when Brock Purdy was inserted into the lineup and took over for Jimmy Garoppolo. Down the stretch during the 2022 season, George Kittle was a touchdown machine because him and Brock Purdy had a great connection. And then all last year, they were a great 1-2 punch where Kittle became that first-team All-Pro, put together his first 1,000-yard season since going back to 2019, and had arguably one of the best years of his career, if not the best. And you want to continue to have that connection for Brock Purdy, who's a young quarterback who you're going to pay if he performs in 2024 like he did in 2023, and keeping Kittle around makes the job easier for your quarterback. So it's important to have that continuity, especially for your young franchise QB and Brock Purdy, and their connection has been stellar. I do want to round out the show with this. Some people have been asking me about the George Kittle injury update. A lot of people don't realize how banged up he was in 2023. He had a torn MCL in his toe. He had a shoulder injury, a fractured rib, and a core muscle tear. So he had to undergo core muscle surgery after the season, after the Super Bowl loss. He suffered that injury around the midway mark of the 2023 campaign, and this is pretty crazy. He said on Bussin' with the Boys that he lost 30 pounds after the surgery and couldn't really work out. Here's what he had to say about that injury. I couldn't lift. I couldn't do any upper body because of my shoulder and my rib, and I couldn't do lower body because of my core surgery. I didn't lift from the Super Bowl until like mid-March. I went a month without doing anything. I wasn't supposed to do anything. So quite the offseason for the fans' favorite in George Kittle. The people's tight end is what they call him. He also added on top of that he's close to 100%, which is obviously good with training camp coming up a little more than a month away on July 23rd. Be sure to give me a follow on X. Give me a follow on Instagram at Chase_Senior, approaching 13,000 subscribers and approaching 30,000 followers on IG.